come out for a little walk with the missus and the Nebula 522 gram little Abbey Revo 2,500. Well, a little box of soft plastics. Put that in the video. You can see what I've got with me. Just going to put it through its paces, bumping some jig head weighted soft plastic paddle tails through a little bit of a bottleneck for a little harbour mouth. I don't normally give away too many marks, but lots of people know about this one. It's not really a top mark or anything. It's just a good place to test lures for me. Just going to put this rod through its paces with some lightly weighted stuff, swinging and bumping in the flow. Start to give it a bit of a workout. You never know, we could bump into a fish as the harbour drains out through this little shallow river mouth here. Might be a fish sat there in really quick tide at the moment, last of the ebb, the last hour or so. Something as they exit the harbour, it's all starting to dry out in there now, so yeah, let's give it a go. Right, I'm going to rig up with one of the HTO 7 gram 5.0 jig heads on a spindle worm. You can see it's a nice fit for this lure. You pop that on there, you push it through, nice and central. There's a keeper on there, as you can see, a little spike, nicely rigged there. Hook point's nice and proud. I've got 16-pound never fade lure game no fade braid, and I think that's a 14 or 13-pound Nebula fluorocarbon leader. It's a very short leader. I've cut it already with an Albright knot. Probably can't see that. I'm just going to chuck it out. You can see there's a narrow little pinch point. There's a lovely big harbour up there. I'm going to chuck it out across the flow, let it sink down, hit the bottom, and then pitch it. Do this little 22 gram Nebula rod in action. Tighten up to the lure, let it hit the bottom, and pitch it up. I feel that working really, really nice. Pitch up, and then expecting bites to come on the bottom, on the drop, sorry. If there's a fish here, I don't really think there'll be a fish here yet, or maybe the odd one, but nice little spot to spend an hour before we go for a beer to banish this hangover. Really lovely fast action on this rod. Feel everything. Feel that paddle tail on that spindle worm just wagging away as it drops. Feel the bottom there. Fishing spindles on an open hook is something that's quite new to me, but last year I discovered that weedless jig heads didn't really lose me anymore. There was obviously they weren't collect weed, but there's too much weed, I'm not fishing anyway. That's come back perfectly clean. A little bit of sand in it. Check the action on this rod. So fast. Not afraid to give it a belt as well. And that's probably fairly towards the top end of the rating of that rod. 7 gram jig head and a spindle. Not sure what a spindle weighs. I would imagine it's probably somewhere around 10. So see that bank starting to uncover there now. Got 2 pinch points coming out the harbour. Freshwater outflow is always a good spot. A bit of dog. Cool. Stop that. Really nice little drop off there. All the water that comes into Bembridge Harbour, when it fills up, you can see it's dry now. It's drying out over there. This is the last of the tide coming out. All these fish that go in there to feed, there's bubbleweed, crabs, worms, prawns, shrimps, baby fish, all that good stuff. They've got to come out. There's not a lot of water left in there. There's a little bit left in there. There's a couple of wet moorings. You can see the tops of the masts for the sailboat over there. But a lot of it does dry out. So a lot of these fish have got to exit, and then they'll hang around out here on the mouth of the estuary, waiting to go back in as well. We can ambush them out there over low. But little spots like this little narrowing, if they're going to come out of that harbour, they've got to come past us. So if you get anywhere there's a pinch point, they'll go in there to feed. They've got to leave, or most of them do. and then you can ambush them as they're coming back out. I probably wanted to be here an hour ago when there's a little bit more depth here, but it's okay, it's just a trial run. Pinging out the Komodo 2 flashing plate building, you can see it just working out there in the flow, giving it the odd little tap to animate it. Quite erratic. You see it flashing away there in the clear water. Then stop it, let it dead stick, stir the surface a little. Got that Komodo 2 out there in the tide, just flashing away. It's catching current. It doesn't swim very deep at all. Maybe you can get them down to 10 inches perhaps, probably more like 6 or 8. But just rolling around there, that flashing plate colour, that's an Argo flashing plate. And animating it slightly as well, just so it wobbles out and rolls. Keep cool, dude. Really handy lure to have if you want to fish hard plastics in shallow water, catch a bit of current. There's a fish out here in this, you know, it's probably 6 or 8 feet here, maybe in the centre of the channel at the moment. I would have thought, if that, it's going to see that. This rod feels really, really nice with a little hard plastic as well. Really good. I think should be, people should use light rods a lot more. Something rated to 22, 25, something like that, as opposed to the old, you know, if you can get away with it, there's no wind, I'm not punching into a breeze, I'm not trying to, you know, cast through surf or anything. But for little intricate stuff like this, soft plastics, small hard plastics, little top waters, they're just really fun to use. See it flashing there? That's great. Did you get that? And there's something else I really like, another lure that I really like for this sort of stuff, is this fish crazy paddle tail. It's got a really cool new feature on them compared to the crazy eels, where it doesn't tear the body because it's got this groove in the top. And the action on it, the way this tail works, if you can see it, just looks so much like a fish. When the sandy will do turn up, it's going to be mega. Did catch fish on them last year. They just work so slowly. See the way that's just working in the current there? Literally just holding it in the flow. Can you see that, Annie?
Yeah. It looks like an actual fish.
The way that tail's thumping.
Yeah.
It's lift them up and down the water.
Oh.
Unreal. Ping them out, pull them in. Water's gin clear. The way that comes up in the water, that looks just like fish. Fish will read on it. Awesome.